mutual exclusion only. The mutual exclusion process is easy. As you can see in the solution itself, the solution itself already gives you a hint in doing those mutual exclusion implementation. You can take a look at the writer part. So the writer is very simple, right? You will see that let's say this guy wants to update a certain portion, certain row, certain table. So we have to lock down the entire DB. So what is that DB guy? I assume that there is a semaphore as a gate, as a door to the database. Okay, so you have to implement that door. Maybe the door is not known to you. Let's say you do a database query, you do the connect. Okay, let's say you write web program or using Java, JDBC, C++. I don't know what is language we're using, but you will connect to the database. Once you connect, you don't declare whether you're a reader or writer. The only moment that you declare you're a writer or reader is by the time that you send a query. Okay? So let's say this is the time that you send a query. Okay? So you send a query to the database. The database knows that that's why you call update, you call delete. So you're a writer. So declare that you're a writer. You lock down the entire database. And I don't talk about any locking procedure, just simple locking that you lock down the entire DB so that you can change it. So this is a critical section. Then you unlock let other guys to modify it. Okay. Some people may ask the question, hey, this method seems to be not guaranteeing some what we call a casual order, who come first, execute first. Yeah. This is not take care of it, okay? If you want to take care of the casual order, that is a disaster. Basically, there is a queue, and the queue is also a mutual exclusion data. So you will have producer, consumer add together with reader writer problem. Okay, it's just a mess. So that's why people need to use other people's database server, but not implement by ourselves, because the blocking problem is very problematic. Okay, so the writer part is easy. But how about the reader part? The reader part is not easy to understand, right? You can see the gate, okay, is wider, very wide. The gate means the entry, the exit, okay? It's doing something more than the writer. So here is to guarantee what? Guarantee, okay, this guy. Why my PowerPoint is slower? So this is guarantee the reader, the number of readers. Let's say we have a bunch of them. So I have to guarantee that once there is one reader, one of my friends in the database system. So I am also a friend. Okay, I send a query. Is select from where. Okay, select from where. It means a reader, right? If you want to select some rows from the database, then you are going to be the friend of those bunch of readers so that you can gain access together to guarantee the what? Consistency. No, I don't care about consistency now. It's the concurrency. Okay, whether I'm concurrently executing multiple query. Okay, so we have such a setup. The setup is done by this extra set of data. The DB itself you have already seen in the right part. You understand what it is. So the log, process, unlock. Now the extra part is there is a mutat. There's a recount, okay? So there is a reader count to count how many readers there. So at the start of the system, you will see that this is a 0, okay? So it's to keep track of the number of readers in the system. So basically that means that when I look at the number of reader, basically I will try to see whether there's a friends of mine. Okay, so if I have friends of mine, then I will do what? Yeah, what I say is a reverse, okay? So I reverse the code a bit, okay? So there is a reader count. So the reader count, you have to edit by 1 if you enter the system. Who protect the reader count is the mutat, okay? Not the DB, DB is to protect the DB, okay? So the mutat is to protect the reader count. And reader count once it's changed from 0 to 1, that means there's a lot of my friends. No, that means you are the first guy, okay? You're the first guy that you're the reader. So you have to lock down the DB. But for other people, other reader to come in, they don't need to lock down the DB. Okay? So let's say I'm the second one. So I will see the reader count is equal to 2. So I don't need to lock down the DB. and continue to do it, the reader count will keep increasing. But when I go out, let's say I finish reading the database, I take the query already, so I want to unlock everything. But whether you are the one who unlock the DB depends on whether you're the last guy. Okay, so that's very easy to understand. When you go into the room is dark, you turn on the light, okay? And you are the second one, you don't need to turn on the lights, but you are the last one to leave the room, you have to shut down the lighting, the system, all the things. And here is the same methodology, okay? You are the last one, after you decrypt the account, you're the last one, hey, unlock the DB. Okay? So this is a very crazy idea. The crazy idea is now this is a toilet, okay? You allow your friends to come in, okay? And the toilet, you're the last one to go out and unlock it. It's kind of hard to understand, but if you think it is a classroom scenario, you're the last one, then you have to turn off the lights, then it's better to understand. So this is the reader-writer problem, okay? So let me ask you a question. This is actually not a quite realistic, not quite, okay, but quite good already. Not quite realistic implementation of database. What's the meaning? The meaning is, when you take a look at the previous slides, okay, the reader count actually is, how can I describe it? It's only give favor to reader. So the meaning is, when you are the first reader, okay, good, I go in the system, then how about there is a writer? Oh, of course there is a mutual exclusion problem, and also the definition of problem saying that reader has a block writer. Okay, so there's a one reader, one writer. Now how about another reader come in? No problem, that later reader can go in and start the query because I allow it to do so to guarantee the concurrency of the entire system. Now how about the writer? The writer will be very sad, okay? He's so sad, standing there without any movement, cannot go on. And how about there is an endless stream of reader coming in? So there is not a real implementation, okay? Not a realistic implementation because you are giving seems to be a very higher, but not very high. It's an absolute priority to the reader. When you are the reader, actually you can take control of the system. You send a stream of endless reader, then no one can write a database. But the real scenario is not like this, right? You're sending many queries, okay, or select from where, and there's another guy who want to update the table. You can do so. Although some will read old data, some will read new data, but they seems to be executing something in parallel, okay? So there is another version of the reader-writer problem, which is much harder, okay? So that's why I skip it here. To do what? Very easy. When you have a stream of reader coming in, okay, go ahead. But once you have a writer step into the system, then I want to do some changes. Let's say there is some numbers, okay, some sequence number. The writer and the reader, they all get a number. Let's say reader 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the 7th one, if is the writer, then the 8th one, 9th one are all reader. So there's only one writer. So the 7th guy will act as a mark there that after 7, all people have to block until what? Until all the numbers 1 to 6 before 7 have finished their execution. Then let the 7 to update the database. And after 7, because 7 is a writer, so it's blocked the entire system. After 7 have finished all the things, then the 8th, the 9th, the 10th can go on. So there is control over the sequence. Okay? How can you do it? Yeah. How can you do it? So there is a much harder implementation, and the implementation is published many years ago. I have downloaded that paper. If you want, I can send it to you. Okay, it's by the Dijkstra again. Okay, Dijkstra implement all kind of this kind of protocol. Okay, so I think this is the end of this chapter. The chapter itself is not very funny because you cannot see any real program. So that's why we have the next part, really implementing some protocols like the producer consumer. You can take a look at my implementation of producer consumer. Okay, so let me wait for some time and Control C it. Okay, so I just generate random characters. Okay, this guy is consuming the head of the queue. This guy is injecting data into the tail of the queue, and this is the finite buffer. So if the simulation is not very good, it cannot go up to the limit. Let's try again, whether it can consume the buffer. Hey, come on. Hey, producer. Oh yeah. Good. Wow. Okay. So you can see the producer keep producing. You may hit the limit, so you have to stop and allow the consumer to consume data. Okay. So this is the implementation, and which is implemented using pre-thread or threading. Okay. So this is the next chapter, the next part. I mean. Okay. So for this part, we only know how to guarantee mutual exclusion. And mutual exclusion is just as important as the toilet problem, right? You don't want any people to share your resources together with you, okay? But on the other hand, some problem, based on definition, you have to guarantee the synchronization, some protocol between the set of processes, and they have different roles, and so they follow different orders. Some may depend on some condition. Let's say the reader-writer problem, they obey different conditions. Planning philosopher, they all follow the same conditions, same protocol. Okay, so the most important of all is guarantee mutual exclusion, uphold the synchronization requirement, as well as deadlock free. So make sure that later, let's say you have to write your own system in your final year project. When you go to work, okay, basically you have to implement something and you guarantee that it's deadlock free. Okay. So this is the end of this part. Let's